Hey guys, so in the last video we created our tests for orders, our order endpoint, and we didn't actually implement the what's it called, the service endpoint or that controller quite yet. But this is just to display like test-driven development where we write the test first before we implement the actual thing. So right now, if you run this, so let's just do nest start dev here and open up a new window. Let's make sure we go into the right place. This is NestCommerce, and I wrote the wrong command. So I'm going to start the server here. And in this one, we're just going to do yarn test when the server is ready. And basically all the tests that we had earlier should run perfectly fine, but then the orders test should fail. So I'm not sure if you can see that because my face might be in the way, so I'm just going to do this. So anyways, so we can plainly see that 13 passed, and 2 of them failed. And those 2 are the 2 tests that we wrote, which should be right here. So in this video, we're actually going to implement our controller and service, so that we can make sure those tests pass. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna kill this server and was it tmux detach, and go back here. Also make a new window, and then make sure that it's big enough for you guys to see. So what is that? Control Shift plus. Yeah, that should be good enough, right? Yep. Alright, so let's just close this and go into our orders module, which I believe I've created, but didn't actually go through. Oh, I'm not sure if this was covered in the last video, but this is here. So this is the intended implementation. So we have list orders by users, where we get all of the orders and then we just return the orders, as well as create order, where we return the specific order based on the created order. So first thing I want to do is check our DTO, and right now it is touching product, which is actually not what we want, because if you looked in the order document right here, this is what what Mongoose will return to us. Products is actually an array of product order. So what we want is this. So let's make sure we export it and go back to our what was that, the DTO. And instead of this import, we're gonna import hold on, product order, I think. Let me think about that. Product order is going to be the product and the quantity. Actually, that's not what we want. We want an interface that looks like this. So product order DTO. It's gonna look a lot like the product order, whereas a product, but we're actually going to provide the ID, so that's going to be a string. As far as our database, or I mean, as far as our API is concerned, the quantity is still going to be a number though, and we just need to change this to DTO. So I guess we don't actually need to export this. So I'm just gonna get rid of the export there. My nose is scratchy or itchy. Okay, let's go back to our service, and we have these two methods. And then our controller, we just need to implement it. So first thing we need to do is inject our service. So that's going to be private order service is an order service. There we go. Alright, so we need two endpoints. We need a get endpoint to /orders. Order is singular, so this one. And we also need to use guards. And the method name I'm gonna just call it list order. So the guard that we're gonna use is the auth guard. And we have to make sure that we pass in JWT because we're using Passport for JSON Web Token. So let's see. We don't need the seller guard because any user could basically buy things. So all we need to do here is just return this.order service dot list order by user, and the user is going to be whoever is logged in. Wait, is this correct? List orders by user. Yeah, of course that's correct. Because the only orders that you can see are the ones that you have placed. It's I think it's security reasons for not to see like other people's orders. I hope. So we're gonna use the user decorator that we created. Let's just take a peek at what that looks like. So it's gonna be the user object on the request, the express request object. So that's gonna give us the entire object, which is also a user, but of course we need to alias this. So user documents and document, and then the name that we're gonna give it is I'm actually gonna destructure just the ID. Is it ID or underscore ID? Yeah, it's just the ID. So we can just pass it into list orders by user because in the service we are expecting a user ID, which is the ID of the user, which is a string. So this looks fine. And then we also need a post endpoint, which of course needs the user, or needs the user, so we need to guard it. And the method name here, I'm gonna give it as create order. Damn it. Create order. Okay. Likewise, oops, it's not the right button. What is this? And damn it. This is gonna be likewise, we're gonna need the user again, document, and we also need the body, the JSON body that we're gonna provide in the endpoint, which is an order of order, the create order data transfer object, and we'll just do return this dot, not create order, come on, order service dot create order, which expects just the DTO for now, and that is wrong, but we'll get back to that. So that will be, what did I name this? Okay, and I just named the variable order. So far, we've made progress, but the test will still fail. Because actually, a thing that I just realized, not just realized, when I was testing all of this, I made a huge mistake in our test. So these endpoints are technically wrong because we needed to go to /order instead of just order. And that was a mistake I couldn't catch for a lot longer than I'd like to admit, so I'm not going to admit it. But don't worry, we're also going to fix up this test because there's a couple of other mistakes. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, so if we just do yarn test, and just for the sake of sanity, I'm only going to run that specific test file, and we could see our progress, essentially. I believe they're still both going to fail. So this one received value 1. Oh, it received 0 and expected 1. So that means we didn't create the order. And up here, should create order of all products. And cannot read property, username of undefined. So there are two things going on there. First of which is we need to actually populate what's coming back from the database. And I have to check my notes. Here we go. So let's see. So list order by user is essentially correct. So let's see. If there are no orders, then we're going to throw an error, which is correct. If and we don't actually have to do any manipulations. So after this find, we could just do get rid of the semicolon. Where am I? Okay. Okay. So we find it by the owner, and then we populate it. Not polygon. Populate. So on the order, we actually just look at the object because it's easier to visualize that way. So where's here we go. So this is the document. So we have owner, and we need to populate it because it's another Mongo object. So we'll do that. Now we also have to populate where to go? The product order. But we can't just populate products because it's a nested object, and the actual document lives in here. So we just have to write down the path to that thing. So it's gonna be products.product, and that may get confusing because of naming, but names are hard, so that's my excuse. So that'll get the order, what's it called? Structure correct, and we just need to do the same thing for create order. So let's create order this order model that. Well, we also need to fix the other error, which is this is currently not taking in the user ID, which we need to do. So let's make sure that we provide an ID and go back into the service. That's all we need to do in the controller. So back in the service, we're actually just going to construct the object here. So we do const create order equals to, and then owner is going to be user ID, whereas products, which is the only thing that's on the data transfer object, is going to be order DTO dot products. Okay, so that's some progress. And then in here, we just do create order. So now it's going to be creating the actual thing. So I think that should make sense, right? Yeah. So we should have some progress, and we should definitely get a different error, but still an error. So if we just run the test again, they'll both still fail, but we'll get something different. This is the same error, but this is because we didn't create our thing correctly. So it should create products, or it should create order of all products. Still cannot read property username or undefined. That okay. So we definitely need to populate what's coming back. So what I'm going to do is actually change this to destructure the ID. And after we create the order, we're just going to do another find. Equals to await this dot order model dot find by ID underscore ID. And then in here we'll add the populate methods. Oops. For owner and for products.product. So I promise we're halfway there. So that'll run, and we should be getting a different error. So expect false to be true, and this is because what is this? Actually, let's open this up. So the false that is, which one is this? Is it this one? Yeah, so it's this one. Okay, so this is the part where the name products is a bad name. So the body is the actual returned object, and then products is so the body is this entire object. Products is this, but we're trying to match the ID to that, where we're actually trying to match the ID of this specific thing. So this has to change to dot product dot ID. Okay, I believe that's correct. And we'll also need to change that down here, dot product, so that this way we'll traverse the array correctly. Let me just double check because that also threw me for a loop, and because of the names are so bad, it is a little hard to find. So I think that actually should pass now. So if we just do that, the next thing that's gonna fail is the price, because we're not taking into account that. So expected value to equal 30, but we received 0, and that's because we never accounted for the total price. And then should list all orders of buyer, which works. So this test is good to go because we're not checking the price in this test, but that's totally fine. So now we just need to make sure that our service is taking into account the price. And this is not optimized in any way, but eh. So wait, yeah. So I'm gonna change this to a let, and just move this up a bit. Okay. So now that we're finding the order, because we can't know ahead of time product, because we would actually have to do multiple database queries in here to get each single product and then multiply it by the quantity. We're actually just going to do it on the order, on the returned order model itself. So we're just going to do calculations here, and this is going to be total price is equal to order dot products dot, and then we're just going to do a reduce to return the sum. So make sure that we have the accumulator and the current value, which is a product. Alright, okay. Make sure we return the accumulator, and we are just gonna, no. Come on. There we go. The const price is going to be equal to product dot quantity times product dot price. Okay, so the first product is the object in the array, and then the second product is the actual product that we're storing in the database. So this will give us the price of that specific order, and then return us the total price. And then now we just have to make an update to the database. So order, we're going to do await this dot order model dot update order dot, oh okay, I don't have to use the model. Come on. Order dot update, and we're just gonna pass in the total price, and then basically we're gonna do another find after that's done. So, whoops, come on. Oh, that's so annoying. So, what just happened? Wait, 30G. There we go. There. Sorry about that. Still learning Vim. So let's see. So just to go over this, we create the product, then we find we create the order, we find it, calculate the total price, update the total price, find it again, so it's we get the updated model, and then finally return the object that is correct. So after all of that, if we just do a test, everything should pass. And it does. And, alright. Now, I know that our test for orders is incomplete because we actually do more. But this is kind of enough for me. I mean, definitely like in here, we could also do another expect to check the price, but eh. So yeah, that completes our API as far as what we can take care of. Everything else requires connecting to an outside API. So for products, images, we need to store it. We need to basically upload an image and store it in the cloud somewhere, and also retrieve the URL to that. And then for payment, we need to use an existing API like PayPal or Stripe, which might be what I'm going to do next in this tutorial series. Either that, or I just skip it and start the React project, which I might do because I want to do some front end right now. But yeah, anyways, I will see you guys next time, and hope you guys enjoyed.